This is the final exam that is prepared for Spanish 3, and we're looking at it in Edit View right now. It was set up using Google Forms, and so if you've ever made a Google form before, this will look pretty familiar to you. Let's take a look at what this exam will look like for students. So I'm going to click on this little eyeball up here at the top right to preview the exam. So the way it's organized is there's a few pages in the exam, and there's a progress bar here to show how far along they are as they work through the exam. Some of these questions are required, like filling in their email address and their name. So I'm going to just put in my other Gmail address so that I can show you an example here. And so the first page is just information about the student, and then the second page is a set of vocabulary questions, and really they're just using the drop-down menu to choose the right word for this phrase. And then there are directions at the top that let them know to do that. So they're picking the right word for the definition. Now, when they finish doing those, they move on to the next page. You can see the progress bar is showing their progress so far. Before I move on to the next page, if I need to change any of my answers as a student, I can do that. So let's imagine that I've completed all of those vocabulary questions, and now I'm on this next session. So the name of the person that's being described, I think that's what that says. And so these are short answer questions. This exam will be graded automatically in some areas. So the parts that will be graded automatically are the last part, which was where they were picking from a drop-down list. And then the short answer part will also be graded automatically. So they would type on these lines. Then the next page is multiple choice. Again, these will be graded automatically, so they're just picking the best choice in the list of options. And then the last page, at least I believe this is the last page, these are more open-ended. Okay, and so they have to explain or describe something in a more in-depth answer here. So there are 3 open-ended questions. These questions will not be scored automatically. These are ones that you will need to review the answers that were provided by the students and then give a score for each of these questions. So this page is worth 15 points. That means that each question is worth 5 points. So you would read what the student wrote, and then you would decide if that student earned all 5 points for that answer. And I'll be showing you how to find the student responses, but I thought it might help for you to see the student's format, first of all, what it looks like for the student. Now the student can click their back button, and I'm going to make a couple choices here just as an example. So let's say I make a few choices and I answer some questions as a student and I click back. My answers are still there, so they can go back and review the answers, and they can change their answers. Until they get to the last page, when they click submit, they can't get back into the exam at all. So hopefully that helps you to see the exam and how it's set up from the student perspective. If you want to edit any of the exam itself, you can click the little pencil icon that's at the top right, which is to edit the form. And it takes you back to that screen we started on where you can edit the questions. And editing is super easy. You can just click anywhere and type if you need to edit wording. You can add questions if you feel that a question needs to be added. You can insert images or media if you feel that there's a need to do that anywhere. So this is what it looks like in Edit View. Okay, so hopefully that helps. In my next video, I'll show you how to deploy this test for students, how to edit settings, like how many times they get to try the test, and then I'll show you how to view their responses. Thank you.